Gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go faster! Today I bring you my top 10 Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I'm excited. Now, Sonic is a series that has had lots of ups and downs. Sometimes more downs than ups. There are plenty of games that can make a top 10 worst games of all time list. There are mediocre games. However, there's no denying that for every bad Sonic game, there's probably a good one. And I have 10 pretty good Sonic games to bring you in a ranked list. So, thank you all for watching. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we know Sonic the Hedgehog is sort of like the Adam Sandler of gaming, if you will. He's had a few good roles. The rest of it's kind of mediocre. Or the M. Night Shyamalan of gaming, if you want to go with the director route. Once again, some bangers, but also some clangers, if you know what I mean. So, what do I think the top 10 Sonic games are of all time? Well, number 10, I'm already starting on shaky ground. Because I had so many choices, I had a hard time picking. But at the end of the day, I went with Sonic Heroes at number 10. And the reason I went with Sonic Heroes was I really thought that the three character mechanic with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles was kind of unique, fun, and interesting. I thought the game looked fine, looked good. So yeah, I kind of took that game over, let's say, a Sonic Lost World, or a Sonic Black Knight, Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic Boom. Plenty of Sonic games I don't think were better than Sonic Heroes. Number 9, and I'm surprised I have it this low on this list, Sonic CD. Why? Because it kind of felt a lot like the original games. I think I have more of a problem with the platform it was released on, which I know you shouldn't probably do in a top 10 list, but I really think that the Sega CD was a major flop, and even Sonic couldn't save it. There's a few mechanics in this game I didn't quite jive with, compared to the original trilogy. So that's why it's number 9 on the list. It could have been higher, but that's where it sits. Number 8, the first Sonic Adventure. Now, I'll tell you, when this game first came out, it was a blast. And I had a lot of fun with it. But one of the reasons it continually went down on my list of Sonic games is it hasn't really aged well. The voice acting is horrendous. And the character models aren't all that great. It truly is it's an game. But I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Because up to that point, Sonic had been nothing but 2D games. And most of the games on this list are going to be 2D games. But as far as 3D games go, Sonic Adventure has to be one of the few that I would indeed play. No, Sonic Frontiers is not on this list. Like, I know that's crazy. I tried it. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Number 7. We're getting to the good stuff now. The real good stuff. Sonic Colors. Why? I thought it was super creative. I thought that the whip powers, whisk powers, whatever, kept the levels fresh and interesting, with all these new abilities and whatnot. And I thought the art style was great. And so Sonic Colors, number 7, absolutely. Number 6, Sonic Generations. And I thought this game was a perfect blend of old and new Sonic. You know, you had some Sonic Advance games going on prior to this on handheld. But Sonic Generations made me feel like Sonic could actually be good again. Because at that point, we were getting bad release after bad release. Like Sonic 06 and Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic Black Knight, whatnot, I felt like were not good releases. So Sonic Generations was a breath of fresh air in a bad era of Sonic the Hedgehog, in my opinion. And also, we're getting this game kind of re-released this fall with like a shadow campaign. So that's interesting. I'll probably pick that up. Number 5, Sonic Mania. For some people, this is number 1. The reason why I can't put it above the original trilogy is it pretty much is just taking all the ideas from the original trilogy and like trying to give you a nostalgic game. And when you're trying to give you a nostalgic game, you can't actually outdo the original whenever it's just completely a nostalgic game. So that's why I can't put it any higher than 5. That being said, it's one of the best 2D Sonic games. It's a lot of fun. You can buy it real cheap right now. And so, it's definitely something that, if the older games are a little harder for you, Sonic Mania is a little easier, but not really. It still keeps giving you that old school difficulty somewhat. But it would be a good game if you want to pick it up and give it to somebody who's never played Sonic the Hedgehog before, and you want to introduce them to the series. Number 4, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's what you've been hearing in the background is Green Hill Zone. I mean, it's iconic. The original Sonic the Hedgehog, it came out of nowhere. There was nothing like it. It even rivaled Mario at one point, somehow. And I absolutely adore platformers. It's actually my favorite gaming genre. And in a lot of ways, 2D platformers I love even more than 3D platformers. And you can't tell the history of 2D platformers without Sonic the Hedgehog. And you can't tell the history of video gaming without 2D platformers. So the original Sonic the Hedgehog, it laid the base and the foundation, and it was freaking awesome. You could tell in my Legend of Zelda and Mario list, their original games were not as high as the original Sonic the Hedgehog were for its series. The original Legend of Zelda was number 10 on my list of Zelda games, and the original Super Mario Bros. I don't even think made the cut in the top 10, it just got an honorable mention. But this original Sonic the Hedgehog title is still number 4 in my mind, which is a testament to how good the original game was, with the original level designs, the characters, and the speed at which Sonic moved. Still to this day holds up very well. Number 3, Sonic 3 Knuckles. Again, this game has been throughout controversy a little bit because of the Michael Jackson soundtrack and whatnot. So it's been hard to get this game actually re-released in its original form. So if you happen to have a Sega Genesis with Sonic and Knuckles 3 original version on it, then you are lucky. You are one lucky SOB. Because that game had phenomenal music. It had great level design. It had Knuckles. It had everything you could want in a Sonic game. However, there is one 2D Sonic game I like a little more than that, and that's number 2 on the list. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The introduction of Tails, the introduction of many of the mechanics that you come to expect from Sonic the Hedgehog. In fact, so many mechanics in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, when people go back to play the original Sonic the Hedgehog, they forget certain mechanics are not even in the original Sonic the Hedgehog, because they started in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, truly launching this game into the stratosphere, and was absolutely the standard bearer in the 90s for Sonic the Hedgehog. But there is one game that I enjoy, truly enjoy, more than Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and that is Sonic Adventure Battle 2. So, everything I said about the original Sonic Adventure, where it didn't age well, where it was rough around the edges, a little bit can apply to Sonic Adventure Battle 2, but Sonic Adventure Battle 2 just did so much. You could have versus battles versus people. It had a hero story and a villain story and a boss fight rush. It had almost a Mario Kart style racetrack thing going on. It had different variations of levels where you were like Eggman and Tails in a robot, you know, shooting enemies and getting through the level, or you were Rouge and Knuckles trying to find jewel pieces, or you were Sonic and Shadow doing typical 3D platforming to get through a level. The story was absolutely phenomenal, which in any of these other Sonic games, the story either didn't really matter or it's sort of a side thing to the actual gameplay. The story was front and center in Sonic Adventure Battle 2 without sacrificing the gameplay. You had the story of Shadow the Hedgehog, which is the ultimate story in Sonic the Hedgehog series because of the stuff he went through. The ending sequence where they beat the final boss has Super Sonic, and you think Shadow is dead. As the end credits roll and the music plays, it actually could bring a tear to your eye, especially back in the day. A game that's absolutely phenomenal. A game that rivals some 3D Mario games that came out at the time, like Super Mario Sunshine even, in which ever since then Sonic has not been able to rival Mario. But in that moment, Sonic Adventure Battle 2 really set a standard the series is still looking to achieve. And let's not forget, I spent probably hundreds of hours just in the Chaho Gardens, in the Chaho world, with these little Chaho, KO, whatever they call them, creatures, feeding them and watching them grow up and hatching out of an egg and level up. And that was very entertaining. That could be a game in of itself. This game had multiple games in of itself packed into one package. And so much credit to Sonic Adventure Battle 2. I still hold out hope for Sonic Adventure Battle 3. But I wouldn't hold your breath. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this list. I appreciate it. Have a good one.